take a look at how Dark Mode Bob is trying to sell some of his Bitcoin. Bob is creating a few sell orders. As we can see, the sell orders are appearing left in the order book. Nothing unusual. It looks like Bob is using a centralized exchange, except he is not. Each of his sell orders is a real Ergo transaction, billed and signed in the background. But more on that later. Now we switch to light mode Alice. She is buying Bitcoin. Again, in the background transactions are built and signed, and Bob gets notified instantly. The cool part about this is that everything happens trustlessly. Bob and Alice interacted through a swap contract, each in control of their tokens during this whole time. Their wallets did all the transaction verifying and signing in the background. Now let's do a technical deep dive of what happened in the second that Bob created his first sell order. For Bob, he just clicked the sell button and an open order appeared. But there are actually 6 steps that happened. Step 1. After clicking sell, Bob's background agent requested a new swap order transaction from the Crystal Pool. Step 2. Crystal Pool created an unsigned transaction that takes some of Bob's tokens at the deposit contract and sends them to the swap contract. Step 3. Bob's background agent validated this transaction and made sure that it 100% matches Bob's input and intent. Step 4. Bob's background agent signs the transaction and sends it back to the Crystal Pool. Step 5. Crystal Pool receives a swap transaction signed by Bob, adds its own signature, and submits it to the Ergo network if there is some free space in the mempool or saves for later. More on transaction catching later. Step 6. Crystal Pool notifies Bob about an order book change. As we can see in this simple comparison table, at a centralized exchange you have no ownership over your assets, but trading is fast AF, and on a DEX you are in control of your funds, but it's resident sleeper sometimes. Crystal Pool model aims to offer instant trading while keeping the user in control of his funds and settling all transactions on L1. Crystal Pool has its own trade-offs. Please take a look at the documentation for more on this topic. There are 4 smart contracts: deposit, buy, sell, and swap. Each of the contracts includes a concept called time-limited multisig. This concept enables instant transactions without taking away users' control over their assets. When a user sends his funds to the deposit contract, his signature is still required to move funds, together with the signature of the Crystal Pool service. But making the deposit contract a simple classical multisig would make it possible for the service to hold users' funds hostage. That's where the time-limiting factor comes into play. After the blockchain advances to a certain height, the user automatically gains full access over deposited funds and the Crystal Pool service loses its veto right. For a seamless trading experience, the time lock period can be extended with the user's consent. The second design decision that enables instant trading on Layer 1 is transaction caching. Mempool space is limited and prone to spikes in transaction volume. Crystal Pool maintains and advances transactions without waiting for available mempool space. Of course, the service cannot create an unreasonably large amount of unconfirmed transactions, but it is very useful for spikes in trading activity. The third and last component of instant trading is the built-in wallet. There is no more need to review transaction details and sign each transaction manually. The built-in wallet handles all transaction validation for the user and only signs transactions if those match intent. Of course, it's not as secure as an external wallet for 2 reasons. Reason number 1. Malicious client code can access and exploit the wallet. Risk mitigation is done by limiting and carefully choosing client packages. The second reason why a built-in wallet can be a bad idea is when it's inside a website. If the server gets hacked, it can be over for all clients. But luckily, there is a way out. The solution is simple. Distribute the UI as native desktop and app Desktop app build is already done, mobile soon TM. For more information and a list of implemented and not yet implemented features, please visit the Crystal Pool GitHub. ありがとう、じゃあね。